Like a lot of the war stories in Battlefield 5, and in very much the same tradition as weapons like the Hellriegel submachine gun from Battlefield 1, EA DICE have taken some serious liberties when it comes to the historical accuracy of their weaponry, and I'm not just talking about with the assault class. The Sturmgewehr 1.5, as it's been titled, appears to be based on a few of Germany's cheaper attempts to produce semi-automatic versions of the Sturmgewehr 44 for civilian militia towards the end of the Empire, called the Volkssturmgewehr Series 1-5. Produced as late in 1945 as the Germans were still fighting and under a severe shortage of resources, they're about as reliable as my Chinese knockoff 1887 Winchester shotgun. The name, roughly translated, People's Assault Rifle, should tell you just about everything you need to know about this quasi-communist attempt at arming the populace. The liberties go even further when you consider EA DICE's inclusion of automatic or select fire versions of the Volkssturmgewehr. They were pretty much exclusively semi-automatic. They actually used a bunch of parts from the iconic KAR-98K, including the barrel and the bolt. There are a bunch of different rifles that make up the Volks Series 1-5. Battlefield's rifle most closely resembles the Gustav Volkssturmgewehr 5, which happens to use a recoil-activated system rather like a semi-automatic pistol, as opposed to a gas line feeding off the barrel that returns to activate and cycle the action. The best part, at least according to Wikipedia, was Russian testing of some of these captured weapons on their ranges. Fixed 100-meter sights with a bullet drop of 91 centimeters and spread of more than 50 centimeters. Good luck hitting a crouched target with that. But with all that said, the low-quality repro of the Sturmgewehr 44 seems like a good enough place to start for an assault class weapon, historically feasible or not. A lot of players on the Battlefield 5 subreddits vouch for it over the Sturmgewehr 44 due to an increased rate of fire and better performance from the hip, but I mean, yeah, it's Reddit. That the specialization path comes predetermined to take advantage of aiming down the sight, but going with the made of old trash theme, I've customised mine to take advantage of superior hip firing and faster targeting. Seems quite a bit easier on the recoil than the Sturmgewehr 44, which I should note is the last weapon unlockable in the class, and therefore theoretically the rifle every man, dog and disabled cyborg lady with a cricket bat should be aiming to use. But from early intermediary all the way to pro, players of all patches can still be seen making liberal use of the Sturmgewehr 1.5. So from a balance perspective, I'd say EA DICE have actually nailed it. I love being able to say that. It's such a rare sentiment in the AAA games industry. I think Gundam would be proud. Even with my upgrades, it's less of a ridiculous hipfire beast than the Automatico was in Battlefield 1. Check. Players must use right-click on their mouse occasionally. Has that mythical select fire ability that didn't exist in the real world. Check. Longer engagements, no longer abysmal foregone conclusions. Comes fully upgraded, sort of, for the nubs among us, self-inclusive. Check. I don't feel like I have to pre-order the Super Deluxe Ultimate Package Edition before prices drop by more than 50% just to stand a chance against the diehards. Check. It all adds up to a pretty good effort by the developers, almost a breath of fresh air, to take an actual concept from an actual war and turn it into an actual thing for Battlefield 5. Soured, of course, only by EA DICE's complete disregard of actual history in favour of some, quote, plausible scenario, where the word Nazi isn't mentioned once in the entire game, and the imagery has been completely sanitised to make it seem like another Germans versus Allies battle. But hey, maybe I'm nitpicking. We play video games to escape our crappy day-to-day realities, don't we?